Give it a couple minutes to load up. All right. Hey, y'all. This is Trent Knox with the Trent Knox Show. Today's episode is another Talking Shop featuring Brian Elder and John Hall. We're going to be talking about their origin in the film industry, what got them there, especially their music history, and also their new project that will be coming out soon, Death and Compromise. Brian and John, would you like to say hello to the viewers and the listeners abroad?
Hey guys, John
Hi.
Hall.
Brian Elder, how are you guis doing?
Awesome. So
Nobody responded to us. We didn't hear anything, did they? I'm just kidding.
No, but that does remind me. I need to open up the chat so that whenever at the end, I like to do a little Q&A for those of my followers and y'all's followers who tune in till the end of the show. So I'll put this over here and open up in the browser. All right. So, do you guys want to start off by basically explaining like how you guys got into the entertainment industry, where you guys are from, and giving you guys the origin story behind Brian Elder and John Hall? Whichever one of you wants to go first.
All right. So basically, how I got in the business was I came from a musical background. I was doing that most of my life, and long story short, I fell into it through a call that wanted me to come in. I had like a lot longer hair, and they wanted me to play a Jamestown settler, which is 1600, so it was like perfect for that. And I went in, I did that for about a week, and then from there I went to the film Lincoln for about 2 or 3 weeks, and that's where like I fell in love with it because of the whole getting in the costumes and all that sort of stuff, and I couldn't stop. So then I got an agent and went from there. I got TV roles, and I'm still doing it. It was 7 or 8 years ago. So now I love it. I absolutely can't get enough of it.
Very cool. And John,
and actually, the way we had met at a SAG Awards ceremony.
Okay.
And actually we had mutual friends that said, "Man, you guys need to meet each other." And talked to Brian about shooting some music videos for my band. I have a country and western band called Stick Horse Rodeo. Shameless plug. We do have our first single out right now. It's called Father's Day. So anybody, you can check us out. We have a Facebook page and a bunch of music videos on YouTube. But as we were shooting one of these videos called Fence Jumping Woman, and it was at this place called 1850 Settlement. And this is a place that still has a bunch of original structures from the 1850s. Family that dates back to the 1850s still living there. And it was such a cool place. We got to talk, and I said, man, we really need to do a Western, because this was several years ago, and Westerns weren't popular then. I mean, they'd kind of fallen out of favor. So, both thought, maybe it's time to give the Western a comeback. And nobody's done a movie about Texas in the 1850s, specifically after the passing of the Compromise of 1850. So it was a good idea. We got with a guy named Jeremiah Olsman, and the three of us started getting a script down, written. And then the rest is history. Then we started working together on Death and Compromise. And Brian's got another project called Lasting Moments that, I've been included in as well. And it kind of become the dynamic duo here. We both have solo things we work on, but a lot of people, at least in our area, kind of turn to us for help or advice. And now, since we've done a Western in Blanco and Elgin and Brackettville, now just about everybody that's actually been on any part of Death and Compromise has now started doing their own Westerns. So it's kind of a great thing.
That's really cool. And so do both of your backgrounds come from music and then the film industry, or how did it start?
Yeah.
Both of them from
Yeah.
music industry. And do you have like any formal training in music or in the entertainment in film?
I don't have either.
Okay.
I don't. I've just been playing since I was really, really, really young, and then the film stuff just hit me. And I mean, acting and music is essentially, if you're a performing musician and you're an actor, you're essentially doing the same thing. You're portraying something on stage. And so I just recently, Yeah. I mean,
Same here. I mean, I didn't have any. I've been playing guitar since I was 6. I did do some guitar lessons to get started.
Hmm.
Was in music all through high school and a little bit in college, but I did some acting classes, but really just kind of wanted to make it happen. And like Brian said, once you're an entertainer of any type
Hmm.
or a doctor, like I've told some other people, probably one of the best things in preparation for acting is being a physician. And I know you just were having some problems today and
Hmm.
with your shoulder, but think about being a resident physician when you're doing a 36-hour shift and you
Hmm.
come in and you've hurt your shoulder and I've been up 30 hours. That's the best acting job you can ever do.
Yes. That's great. Yeah, I for those of you guys who don't know or are not watching but listening on the podcast, I actually was in the ER today, and that's what he was referencing. I had some shoulder pain going on. Just woke up and I had some excruciating pain, and so that's what he was referring to. But we're trucking through, we're getting through, we're doing the show. The show must go on. That's an
what
entertainment
was
thing.
that was going on? I mean, I don't want to get off topic. What was
I
it?
I don't know absolutely yet. It could be a compressed disc in my neck, a torn muscle in my shoulder, or maybe just some spasms. But it's I don't know. I don't know yet. The ER was only able to do X-rays, so I have to go get an MRI through the a different setting through my
So
PCM.
for all your listeners,
Yeah,
Trent is the working wounded tonight. He's pulled it together for you guys.
That's
yeah,
right.
absolutely. So, okay, back to you guys. So the origin stories are pretty interesting. You kind of just, picked it up. It was kind of natural for you guys. Was there kind of any inspiration originally to get into acting or into music or into the entertainment industry at all?
All right. So, I mean, there wasn't really like for that's a tough one. So my mom, she always told me that like later she was like, yeah, you're gonna be. I knew you were gonna be an actor and stuff because so it wasn't anything that inspired me. It was something that was just in my blood somehow. I mean, it's a blessing from God basically.
Mhm.
I don't know how I got the gift. I just did,
Yeah.
and it's been something that's always been a part of me. Like when I was 5 years old, my mom has a picture of me having the Dukes of Hazzard guitar at Christmas time, and that's something that you don't at 5 years old you don't know what you want to do. I mean, like, or you don't really know, like, hey, I want to play guitar. I want to be a rock star. I want to do this. So that was something that really wasn't. There wasn't like an inspiration at that point. It was just something that was inside of me that I don't know where it came from, and but my mom did have records though that she'd play, and that kind of inspired my music part of it. I mean, she played stuff like I didn't end up playing this type of music, but she ended up playing things like Paul Anka and Elvis
Mm.
Presley and Richie Valens and Dion and the Belmonts and things like that. I listened to growing up with my
Hmm.
mom playing records and everything. And she played everything. She played Charlie Pride. She played all kind of like country, rock, oldies, all that stuff. And so I listened to everything growing up from my mom, and that
Oh, okay.
probably gave me that push towards that. But like but acting, yeah, she said I used to get up and act in front of commercial or like what just happened in front of the family for commercial breaks. And here's a funny, embarrassing story that I don't really tell a lot of people, but I used to set up like when I was a child, a bunch of stuffed animals on the bed and stuff, and I would when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old, and I would perform for those for them and stuff. Like I would either sing or act or whatever. So that was kind of my inspiration. I didn't know what I was doing. I just did it for fun, and apparently it was something that just came out of me that I just love to do, and I'm
Mm.
thankful and blessed for. So
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's kind of the same way. I mean, I started playing guitar at 7, and probably my two big inspirations musically. One of them was Jim Croce. I mean, I always loved the finger picking style, and I would sit and play Jim Croce albums and just figure out how to do those same finger picking styles and everything that he did on the guitar. Same as Gordon Lightfoot. And then, of course, as I got older, got more into rock. But since we're in Texas, the first few rock bands that I was in, we were gigging, doing some local gigs. And, when you're playing rock in Texas, there's always going to be those people who come up and go, well, can't you play some two-step songs, or do you know any country? And so next thing you know, you're playing about a 20% country set. Then over the next several months, you're playing about a 50% country set. And then eventually you just go, you know what, to have work, we're going to be a country band. And because a country band can always find work, a rock band, not so much. Not in Texas area, not outside of Austin.
Right.
But that's, and then I'm also an author. I've got 2 books out. Discovery Channel asked me to do a TV series for them. I guess most people would term them conspiracy theory books. They're about NSA surveillance. One's called A New Breed, and one's called Guinea Pigs: Technologies of Control.
Mm-hmm.
And after Guinea Pigs came out, I was asked to do a TV series for Discovery, and that's really kind of what got me into acting. I started meeting other people that are in production, and I like the whole video thing. And of course, the series that they shot got banned in the United States, so Discovery still released it in Europe, but it's not here. You can find it on YouTube. It's called United States of Paranoia. And then decided I kind of wanted to get into it, and just started working as an extra, and then trying to get those little supporting roles, and then got into production. And so really kind of all facets of it. And I would like to give a big thanks to my wife, Brandy Hall, who has really been instrumental in helping Brian and I as far as doing line producing. That's the person who basically organizes everything. She's makes sure everybody's signed in, that props are signed out, that meals are being delivered. I mean, she's been invaluable on our shoots. So
that's awesome. It's always a good thing to have a supportive team and people that you can work with, especially if they happen to be your family members. So you're both from Central Texas area originally?
I am.
You are, and then Brian?
I'm actually from Virginia. I was gonna ask when John was talking about, people were asking here in Texas about two-step. I'm not from here, so I was gonna say so people asking, like, play some two-step, and is that kind of like they do in Virginia, or like free bird?
Yeah.
Nice.
More cowbell.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. No, I'm from the East Coast. John's from here. So
what was it like in Virginia, your beginnings, and what was it like performing there?
I loved it there. I mean, the weather's, it's cold during the wintertime, so I'm not a big fan of that. But and the humidity, it's very hot, as far as humidity. But I loved it there. I mean, it's a beautiful state, a lot of history. I used to love, things like that. Like we had the Revolutionary War, Yorktown War, the battlefields, Colonial Williamsburg, all that stuff there. We have Native American history, Jamestown, and I love all that stuff. I used to go there when I was younger. So growing up there was great. I mean, I absolutely loved it. And as far as the music scene is not like it was here in Austin years ago, because this is the live music capital of the world. But there was still, a lot of places to perform. I mean, we'd go to, Maryland, College Park, Baltimore, Philadelphia. You've got, we'd even go down to Florida and stuff, as far as like hitting down the East Coast. And we'd go out to Missouri and up to Michigan and wherever we could go. But the East Coast was a lot of music. New York was 6 hours away. Things like that, but it was great. It's a great state. I love it, but I love Austin.
Yeah, definitely. That's something that me and John have in common. I grew up here in Central Austin, Georgetown, actually, about 35 minutes away from Central Austin, and I have a different perspective because well, I'm younger. I'm your junior, but it's an interesting place to have grown up in.
Georgetown's beautiful. I've been up there. I live in Cedar Park, so I'm North Austin.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Steve had had maybe got me confused. I thought you guys were in Houston. I didn't know that you guys were so close here. Yeah, that's really cool. And so when you were in Virginia, were you in a band while you were in Virginia? Did you record then?
Yeah, I actually I haven't done much music over here in Austin. I've done a couple of things, but not really much of anything. I played a few shows and that was it. Most of my stuff was on the East Coast, and as far as my foundation, I branched out throughout the States, but it was like my foundation was in where I was living was in Virginia. And I mean, I was in a ton of bands. I signed to a label for 2 years. We released CDs on our own, as well as when I signed with the label, we did. We opened for nationals. We headlined our own shows. We had Ticketmaster stuff that we did, and I mean, but all that was, when I was living there, I didn't do anything. When I came out here, it was for film. which
Okay.
I know is weird because this is the live music capital of the world, and it's like
Mhm.
I didn't come out here for music. I came out here for film, but so it's kind of it's weird, but that's what I came out here for. So
Yeah, this it's actively becoming a place for indie filmmaking here in Austin, with the addition of the Austin Film Society and the renovation of the old airport into a film studio and more Hollywood budget films like Walking Dead coming to the area,
yeah,
offering opportunities for your independent actors and independent filmmakers to get involved, and it's really cool. I came here as well for film. I mean, I came back here for film. I was going around, lived in Hawaii for a little bit, and then I moved to Colorado, and then I moved back to Austin because with South by Southwest just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and more opportunities to get into the film scene here, it just seemed like the right thing to do. So yeah,
right.
I love it. I love it here. So you guys have a lot of experience in making historical films. What started that passion for historical films?
Now, that was probably mostly me. Well,
Okay.
Brian comes from an area that is really
You
ripe with
yeah, he was
history,
yeah.
but I've always liked westerns. I was a big Clint Eastwood fan. Outlaw Josie Wales, probably one of my favorite movies of all times.
Hmm.
Um, and my books are nonfiction. They're true stories. So I was kind of always into the nonfiction documentary type stuff anyway. And the
Hmm.
chance to actually produce our own western and do it about a time period that's not really been done,
Hmm.
it really is what attracted me to it. And Brian at that time, actually, after working with us on the music video, kind of was the same way, going, "Yeah, let's do a western."
Hmm.
So, so we really kind of came to that conclusion together. We're in the basement of this old rock building
Hmm.
on the 1850 settlement, and thought, what, it'd be cool to play outlaws kind of in this scene and do a scene down here. And I said, man, let's do it. Let's shoot a Western TV series. And at that
Hmm.
time, there was no other Westerns out. The time when we were writing it, then all of a sudden Hell on Wheels came out, a bunch of other ones came out. So obviously, globally, a lot of other people were thinking the same thing, that it's time for Westerns to make a comeback. And if actually, there's a Wild Bunch Film Festival in Arizona. It's the only Western only film festival. We won it last year, and there was quite a few entries into it, but not a ton. This year, there's like 4 times the amount of entries into that Western Film Festival than there was last year when we won it. So, I mean, that's, it's amazing how things kind of come in cycles. But luckily, most people are doing that 1880s to 1890s cattle drive, railroad car kind of genre. Not some, ours is specific to Texas in the 1850s. So, and it looks really good. So,
So once again, for the listeners out there that are hearing this on the podcast, or if you've got your YouTube set to audio only, I'm sitting down with Brian Elder and John Hall, and we're about to get into talking about their new series, Death and Compromise, that they've had in production. When can we expect to see the release of this project?
So we're like looking to like who's jumping in. So right now we're in post production with the very very last stage. I just shipped out the drive yesterday, or today is Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday. So shipped out the drive yesterday to Burbank. So they're starting coloring this week. It should be there by Thursday. It's estimated arrival time. So
Okay.
once that's done, now we start pitching and everything. And we've got some stuff coming up that I don't think we're talking about yet, but
Okay.
yeah, some good stuff. But that's when we start the pitching process, once that whole production package is done.
Okay.
So
And so this is interesting for me is that what is the technical side of this? You guys shot, produced, and wrote the whole thing yourselves? Did you bring in another production company to assist you guys? How did this happen?
no, we produced it ourselves. Now, you've got people that you come in that are extras and, grip and electric and
Yeah.
camera guys. Brian, I mean, I produced it. Well, Brian and I both produced it. Brian directed it. and we
Okay.
both acted in it. So we wore a lot of hats. I mean, Brian will tell you, he may have just been the director and the actor, but he was also part of the catering and part of running back and forth to electronic stores to get memory cards and trying to stay alive when you're shooting in 110-degree heat in August in long sleeves and coats and, with gun holsters on and stuff. But it's a pretty technical process, and it's a big, like I said, because we were so particular about the historical accuracy. I mean, that alone takes a lot of your time, making sure the horses' saddles are right, the horses are right, that their manes are right, that the buggies are right, that what people are wearing is right. So you don't end up like on Game of Thrones or Indiana Jones with a cat in jeans and a t-shirt in the background, or, making sure that even playing cards or historically correct playing cards. And so, I mean, we had to wear a lot of hats on that. I mean, hopefully if this thing flies, we might even think about hiring a separate production company in so we can really focus on the acting. At least that's kind of my opinion.
Sure.
Rye, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do it. And I mean, as much as I love writing and producing, directing and acting, it's writing is fine, it's still everything. But yeah, I don't mind directing and acting so much, but yeah, I agree. I don't want to be doing. I don't mind having my name as a producer, or like even John having his name as a producer or whatever. But like we have more people coming in doing that stuff, so we can focus on the things that we need to do. And it's going to be a lot easier. It's a lot of work. It really is.
Yeah. So, about how many episodes can we expect in this season?
We're like, who's going? Four episodes for season 1. It's kind of a starter season. So make sure it flies, make sure it goes really well and all that stuff, and you get it picked up. If where it lands, where it gets placed, somebody is like, hey, we want 6. A lot of your starter seasons or your episodes are either 4 to 10. So you have 4, you have 6, you have 8, you have 10. I think Stranger Things started off with 8 episodes on the first one, or 6 or something like that. So if we get placed somewhere and they're like, hey, we want 2 more episodes, or we want 4 more or something, then we'll go back to the drawing board there. But as of now, we have 4 as a starter season to see how it goes.
Which is better. A lot of times you start with just one pilot, and then you've got one chance. If you don't hook an audience with one pilot, then you're basically, okay, this ain't going to work, and they move on to the next project. So at least we have 4 episodes telling a real.
Uh-oh.
I think we might have lost John there. But that's okay. I'm sure it'll pick back up here. Maybe his internet went out or something. As soon as he comes back, we'll get him back in. But we can continue the show. I do have a question. So you were directing the project. What were some of the difficulties and some of the things that you had to overcome throughout the shooting?
As far as things that happen that
like maybe the sun wasn't in the right place at the right time. You had to do some sort of pickups or something like that, or didn't have the right equipment.
Everything you work on film, I've done a lot of different film stuff, and everything you work on, there's always something. You pretty much plan for those things to happen, and it's not anything that's really that bad that happens. It's just contingencies that happen that you have to work around, and sometimes those are the best things. When those things happen and you like have to create something different or find ways around making things work, sometimes those are the best scenes, the best things, and everything that happens. So some of the things that we went into was, we didn't shoot. We were trying to cram everything in a short period of time. And I wanted more days. So I wanted things to happen a little bit stretched out longer to make it work. So we had to go back a couple times to do more shoots. So that was one thing that we were faced against, which also cost us more money in the long run. But for the most part, we didn't have anything like really bad that happened. Like as far as other than the heat, the heat killed some of us. But nobody passed out and nobody got heat exhaustion, which is great because I've seen that happen here on set before. So none of that happened. Everybody was great with the horses. Brandy was really good with. John just texted me. He said that the Wi-Fi is giving them problems.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, Brandy was there with the horses, so she really like made sure that nobody got around the horses that didn't know anything about them, things like that. So we didn't have anybody that got hurt on any horses. I've heard those stories happen before other sets.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody got hurt with any, blanks or anything. You know, that happens sometimes on other people's sets too. So we were very, very fortunate and blessed that nothing like that happened. Nothing major happened. So it was just more so like, scheduling and things like that. Oh, well, actually, the hurricane. We had a hurricane that came through, and
Yeah.
that stopped us from production because we were set to go. And then John and I, the day before, we tried pushing that thing out because they were talking about it being, um, not hitting us as hard and just being rain, and then not having rain and just having rain in Houston, and Austin didn't have any, and Blanco wasn't going to get it, and et cetera, et cetera. And so
Yeah.
like we waited until the very last minute, and we were watching the Weather Channel. We are like, maybe we could do it. And then the last day before, we were getting the hurricane, and we were like, well, we have to call off production. So we had to cancel everything, and we pushed it out. Like I think it was 2 or 3 weeks later, we had to push it out and start filming again. So that's the one big thing that actually messed us up on filming.
Interesting. So yeah, the weather always can get in the way.
Yes.
So what about? Did you guys have any like bloopers that actually made the final cut or made it to the cutting board?
Um.
Like things that were unexpected, maybe off script.
Yeah. There was. There were a couple things. One of them I can't mention because it's dialogue.
Okay.
But so there's a scene in there where um I'm trying to say anything without saying too much. All right, so there's a scene in there where one of the characters comes in to tell us that there's riders coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and William's his name, so I can tell you that the character's name is William.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in, he tells us, hey, there's riders coming to town, and they're coming to this town. We're like hiding out here,
Mm-hmm.
and so um, I'm trying to like to foot around anything, not giving something away.
Sure.
And so I tell them, I'm like, I got this. I grabbed the gun and I'm like, we got this. And he's like, no, no, no. And he stops me from doing it. And him and John's character, Lem, they're telling me, we're not going to get this nice family in trouble and stuff. So, we're going to pretty much hide out and stuff. So I put the gun away, and my character is I'm the goofy one, basically. I'm the one who is the con artist, the one that will talk her way out, and John's character is the tough guy who will basically just shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
And so my character at the time, I I put the gun down, and all I was gonna do was flip the gun, and I was gonna make it just kind of a little okay, fine type thing.
Yeah.
And I flipped the gun, and it went all over the place, and I was like trying to catch it and fumble the gun and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we kept that, like the whole crew was laughing like really hard, like laughing on that. So we kept that, and then so I did it a couple more times, but that first one was the best time that it happened, where it just flipped, and I was just fumbling the gun, and I just looked at John, was like, and so we kept that, and I mean we both stayed in character, which was good because it kept us to be able to keep that take.
Very cool.
Yeah, so some things like that. That was a funny reel a funny part that we kept in, and
Yeah.
just stuff like that. So there's a few different things that happened on set the day of that we were like, yeah, let's keep that. So
Yeah, it's things like that that make a film or a television series what it is and good,
yeah.
So how did the process go? Because I see that you guys got a lot of awards already. What was the process like? Did you guys submit to film festivals? Like I see there's like 4 already. Or how did that work?
So so I was like pretty much like knee deep into post production and stuff, and at the time of the awards and everything. So I was taking care of that part of it, trying to get editing done. Had to go to Seattle, do all that sort of stuff. And John was John was and like at that time I had edited a teaser that we had from the past. It was just episode 1 that I did a teaser for. And John had that, and he was like, he's like, send me the teaser. I'm going to start putting it in film, like in film festivals and everything. So while I was doing the post production, John is actually the one who submitted us to all these festivals. And I think without him being here, I think he submitted us to about 7 or 8 film festivals. I think,
Okay.
I believe. Again, I was working post production. He was submitting us to that, and I think it was 7 or 8. But anyways, we got accepted into 5 of them,
Okay.
and we went to 3 of them. Sorry, John's texting me. He's trying to get on, but he's not having trouble. He's having trouble. He's not able to do it.
Okay.
He submitted us. He submitted to us about 7 or 8. We made it into 5 of them. We got accepted as far as like semifinalist, finalist, all that sort of stuff, and we won. We went to 3 and we won 2. So
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. We actually showed up to 3 of them. We went to. I went to the one in New York. John couldn't make it, so I went to the one in New York. And John and I went to the one in Arizona, and then Brandy, John, and I went to the one in Mississippi. And we actually we got 2 awards out of those 3. So it was nice. It was a good feeling.
And you got 2 other. Was Best Trailer, the Wild Bunch Film Festival, Official Selection, Global Trailer Film Festival, finalist in the Southern States Indie Fan Film Festival, and then semifinalist in the Los Angeles Cine Festival. So it's been put in work.
Yeah, we actually won the southern one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
we won that one. So we got best trailer on 2. Like we won first place on 2 of them. The southern States Indie Film Festival. We got first place on that one, and we got first place on the Wild Bunch.
That's very cool.
Yeah, we were thankful for that.
So what's the process? What's the process next? What's the next step after that? After those award festivals, in the post-production experience, what is that?
So as far as like what we're gonna do afterwards?
Yeah, do you go back and you use some of the the feedback that you got from those festivals? Do small edits? Do you do like more production on the sound, or how does that? What do you do with that data you get?
So the thing about the film festivals, which it's great because it gives you accolades. Basically, it tells you, like more people see your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the whole point of people doing film festivals, is because you get accolades if you win, or if you get semifinalist or finalist, or best whatever, and that sort of type of stuff.
Yeah.
You get more people see it because the people that go to the film festivals, or they announce it, your film or your screening or whatever is in that. And so all of that is really what's the best thing about the film festivals. You don't not the ones that we went to, at least. They didn't give us, or anything I've done in the past, with film festivals, they haven't given us any like feedback changing.
Oh, okay.
So so none of that's, I think that's more of a when you submit like a screenplay or something, or you submit something for review or something, they give you that sort of stuff. But and I could be wrong. Again, I think
it's mixed. Some do, some don't. I know that the ones that I went to in Hawaii, they give you like a little sheet of paper when you went in. You check certain boxes or rate it, 1 out of 5 here or whatever, and then that information would go to the producers and whatnot, and then they could just not do anything about it, but it kind of, that system also was also like the way that the certain projects won based on their their rating within they get, what did they get? They got a separate award. It was like audience award or something like that, based on that.
Oh,
and it was pretty cool.
Well, we do. Yeah, there's audience awards for sure, and all those.
Yeah,
so that's cool. Yeah, I wish more festivals actually would do that, because the ones we went to didn't do that, where it was like they give you any feedback or anything. But that'd be great if they did. But they do the audience awards and stuff. And actually, John and I have a film festival together too. It's Elder Hall Texas Independent Film Festival.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And we're on Film Freeway and all that sort of stuff. And we have a .com. We're on Facebook and all that sort of stuff with it. And our screenings are actually September 6th and 7th, with the award ceremony being on the 7th. And we've got people from Germany, from France, from all over the United States that have entered in this thing that's going to be screening that day. So, and we're doing also an awards, and a audience, participation thing as well, where the audience chooses the best, audience winner. So
where is that going to be held at? Where's
that's at Blanco, Texas. It's going to be at
Blanco?
Pine Moor Old West Studios, or Buggy Barn, which is held by Dennis Moore and his family. Great people, great set. Some of that we filmed at too, and so like they're really good friends of ours. They're great people and all that stuff. So I highly recommend, if you want a Western set, to go to Blanco as well.
And if someone wanted to RSVP for that event, is there a website, or is there like a Facebook event or something like that they can go view?
Yep, Film Freeway. If you go to Film Freeway, look up
Film
Elder
Freeway?
Hall. Yeah, Elder Hall is one word. So
Mhm.
it's Elder Hall, Texas Independent Film Festival. And you
Mhm.
can find it on Film Freeway. Tickets are there. The tickets that you buy for the award ceremony. So the screening is free. So on September 6th, it doesn't cost anything to get in.
Mhm.
You just show up. You get the address from the website, show up, watch the screenings. The 7th, prior to the award ceremony, doesn't cost anything either. But the award ceremony does. And the reason is because Dennis and his family, they're doing barbecue and a Southern meal and stuff. Like, I mean, they're really doing it up, and so they're buying all the barbecue and everything, and so all that money is going to them for basically more so the meal.
Yeah. So are you going to be able? You think that you'll have Death and Compromise finished by that time and be able to do the world premiere?
So that's the other thing is we're at the award ceremony. We're going to be showing episode 1.
Oh, very cool.
Yes, we're showing episode 1 on as like just a. We're going to show the teaser, the trailer, and then episode 1 for for that. Sorry, I'm like reading John's text, and then so we're showing that night at the award ceremony.
Mhm.
But we're only showing episode 1.
Okay.
What we're going to do is later, either mid-September so they'll definitely be done. But
Mhm.
mid-September is when we're going to plan on doing the whole season, to show the whole season on just at one event. But
Mhm.
we're capping it off though. We haven't set the date for that, but we're going to cap it off to where it's like 94. We're doing it in a theater, probably Alamo Draft House or Evo or something like that. We're talking to both of them right now.
Okay.
And we'll do like 94 seater or 141 seater, and just that's it. First come on the tickets, first serve. Tickets will probably be about $7-10, something like that. And so we know we have a head count,
Mhm.
and we'll show the whole season that one night. We'll show the whole season to a limited theater.
Very cool. And then where can we expect the series to be online, or is it going to be hard copy DVD, Blu-ray? What are we looking at for distribution?
We're trying to so once we get the post production done, which is, like I said, coloring is the last thing, and they're doing that now, or they start that Thursday.
Mhm.
And so once that's done, which should only take like a week or two, then we start after we focus on this film festival and get that taken care of, then we start pitching everything, and we're going to be pitching between now and November, and those are our time frames that we're pitching and stuff, and we have some stuff that's meetings and stuff that are going on, and that all depends, like where it places depends on where we get it to. And I mean, we're looking for something like Netflix,
Okay.
Hulu. Those are the platforms that we're interested in talking to and looking for it now. Amazon, all that stuff. But Netflix is one of them that we're definitely after, trying to talk to them and get on their platform.
Very cool. Well, it's a little bit unfortunate that John had to, his internet went down. But is there anything
Yeah.
you'd like to say last, maybe to promote something? Your other show. I'm sorry, I forgot what it was called. The last was it
Lasting Moments. That's a
Lasting
movie.
Moments?
Yeah.
Okay. What's that about? What can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So Lasting Moments is a it's a faith-based drama, basically. So
Okay.
it's not like it's not it's faith friendly, I should say. So it's
Okay.
not like one of those that's going to beat you over the head with it, but it's got innuendos and all that sort of stuff. And John and I both are, and his wife and everything, we're all Christians, and I mean, that's our faith is very important to us.
Hmm.
So, but we don't, we don't go around beating people's over the head with it and stuff. So, so the film, what I want to do with this is I want it to be faith friendly, because I want to get it out there, and I want everybody to see it, and I want everybody to be able to enjoy it, and and that sort of thing. Because I mean, if you put faith-based things out there and and that's all it is, then you're only going to get that that specific genre of people to watch it.
Mm.
But if you spread it out, you get more viewers, and that's
Hmm.
what you want with that type of film. So that's what it's
It,
about. I'm sorry.
it's a non-denominational film.
Yes,
Okay.
non-denominational film,
Okay.
and it's about basically a couple,
Hmm.
Tristan and Sarah. They go through a hard time, and there's a tragic event that changes their lives.
Hmm.
And but without saying too much, there's a tragic event that changes their lives. So it really keeps you on the edge throughout the entire thing. And it's the moral of the whole thing is basically, I mean, that the message and stuff is, I mean, everything happens for a reason,
Hmm.
and God's in control of everything that does happen to us, and for a reason. Whether it's
Mm.
bad or not, there's always a reason for it to happen. And the message is, it's very strong. It's what happens and everything. I can't give away the event that changes their lives, but it's a pretty tragic event. So
Mm. Mm. Uh, is there like anything unique other than music or film that you do that no one would expect, like fashion, film, or I mean, fashion, gaming, art, something just crazy? What's that thing that would really
oh man.
connect people if they want to know something about Brian that no one else really knows about? And you like to do skee ball on the weekends, or throw axes. What is that thing?
Oh man, I've never been asked this question, so I don't even know. Let's see. So I mean, I like to do a little bit of everything. Basically, there's nothing that I don't enjoy doing. I mean, I like to. I'm a normal everyday dude. Like, I love to go, like, hiking, and I love to,
Cool.
I like camping, and I love amusement parks, man. I'm a big kid at heart, man.
Cool.
I'm a big kid at heart. Like amusement parks, I'm like, put me on that roller coaster. Let's go. I
Very
mean,
cool.
I love it. So I mean, like, I get to an amusement park and I got friends with me. I'm like
Hmm.
running around like a kid, man. We're screaming and yelling, having, and like, not in a bad way. We're like having a great time, and it's just, I love it, man.
Hmm.
So that's one thing. I like fishing. Um, I don't get to do it very often, but I like to fish, and it's more for just for fun. It's not really for sport or anything.
Hmm.
Um, I went skydiving. Okay, actually, here you go. I went skydiving. I've been
Cool.
skydiving once. Um, and the first time I went, or actually the only time I went skydiving, was when I was in a plane. The very first time I'd ever
Hmm.
gotten a plane. So
Oh, wow.
I had never been in a plane before, and it was in a little charter plane that
Hmm.
they put you in.
Hmm.
And so I used to I used to tell everybody for the longest time. They'd be like, "You ever flown before?" And I'm like, "Yes, once, but I jumped out."
Yeah, that's
And they're like, "What?" And I was like, "Oh, I went skydiving." But it's the first time I'd ever been in a plane. I used to be nervous about getting in planes. Now I fly everywhere. I love flying, but like, I used to be scared, and I got in a plane and I jumped out. Perfectly good plane the first time I was in it.
very cool. So,
So.
okay, last but not least, if people wanted to follow your journey as a filmmaker, where's the best place to follow you? Is that Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn? Where is it?
Probably Facebook and Instagram. I Yeah, those are the best two places: Facebook and Instagram. YouTube as well, probably, because we do post. I did post the trailers up there for Death and Compromise. I have my demo reel up there. IMDb is another one.
Yeah.
Um, so those are probably the best ones. Twitter, I have it. I'm real bad with doing anything with Twitter, and
Uh,
so yeah.
yeah.
So probably Instagram, Facebook, and IMDb and YouTube. Those are the best ways to keep up with it. LinkedIn as well, but that's the thing. Only time I mess with LinkedIn is when someone sends me a message. I'm like, oh, I pop on there, send a message back, and that's about it.
Yeah. So I have for those of you, the listeners on the podcast, the people who are viewing the video on YouTube or watch the live stream, I have the handles below. But Brian, if you want to let everybody know where those handles are and how they can follow you, you know, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So IMDb, you can look up Death and Compromise. You just spell it out, or you can find John Hall or Brian Elder, Brian with an I, and it's Brian. I have some people that spell it Brain. That's brain. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
Brian. You can find us. You can find all three of those on IMDb. You can look on Facebook for the same thing. You look Death and Compromise. You can find John Hall and Brian Elder on there as well. I do have a Facebook acting page as Brian Elder Actor after the facebook.com/. You can find, let's see, uh, Instagram. Mine is Brian _Elder. John's is, I think it's John 427. I could be totally wrong, but
It's John J Hall 427.
there you go. So J
Yes.
Hall 427. Instagram is John Halls. Mine is Brian_Elder. You can also find us on Film Freeway with the film festival. You can also find the .com, Elder Hall, Texas Independent Film Festival.com. And did I get all that? I got the Facebook, Instagram, and then YouTube. Look up, you can actually do youtube.com/Brian Elder Music, and that'll take you to the my Elder Films Facebook page, which you can also find Elder Films LLC also on Facebook too.
Gotcha. Yeah, you made me kind of self-conscious when you said that some people spell it BRAIN. I was like, oh my God, did I spell it wrong?
Oh, no.
On the screen.
Well, but my brother, it's funny, my brother spells my name sometimes, At first
Yeah.
I thought he was messing with me, but now, many years later, he still spells it that way. And I'm like, Tim, you've got to flip those two.
Yeah.
So
I guess the last thing that I want you to repeat and do the promo for would be the event you have coming up for your film festival.
Okay, yes. So September 6th is the viewing at Blanco at the Buggy Barn or Pinemore Old West Studios in Blanco, Texas. And September 7th is also a viewing day as well as the award ceremony. So you guys definitely come out and check that out and watch episode 1 the night of September 7th.
All right, guys. Once again, Brian and John, thank you very much for coming on the show. It was awesome having you guys. And for you guys who are listening, you can go to anchor.fm to get the podcast, anchor.fm/Trent Knox to get the podcast on all your major digital streaming platforms. Thank you, John and Brian. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having us.